Hi guys, it's currently Sunday the 16th of April 2017 and welcome to week 66 of my weight loss journey. In last week's video we all saw I lost 2.9 pounds, which is 1.3 kilogram, and my body mass index went from 60.1 down to 59.7, which was a whole new classification. Let's begin by looking at my calorie consumption over the last week by looking at the graph above. The average of this was 2,733 compared to the previous week at 2,459. Now this is the first time in 13 weeks that I've gone above 2,700 calories. I know it's only slightly above, but there are some contributing factors to this. Last Saturday and Sunday, you know those big 150 gram packets of crisp, or if you're in America, potato chips? Well, I had one of those each day, and in the middle of the week I had the opportunity to have a traditional Cornish pasty. Now those of you not familiar with the Cornish pasty, it's basically either short crust or flaky pastry, folded over, and in the middle of that is meat and potatoes, vegetables, and ground pepper. It's gorgeousness, basically. One of my favourite savoury dishes. So I may have just had a little bit more calories than I should have done this week, but it was worth it. Moving on to my step count over the last week, which you can see in the graph above. The average of this was 6,791 compared to the previous week at 4,486. So a great week worth of steps, and it's actually, I think, the best I've ever done in terms of average step count. So I got to give myself a pat on the back for doing that. I'm going to do something a little bit different here now. I don't usually talk about my experiences of general day-to-day stuff of what I'm maybe finding differences now after losing the amount of weight that I've lost. So I'll give you a few indicator lists of what I've been observing, and this may be relevant to you. You may have observe the same things for the weight that you've lost as well. But for me, walking upstairs has become a lot easier. I'll give you an example. When I was at work, and obviously the offices are on the first floor, so you have to walk upstairs in order to get to my desk. So I always had people commenting and says, "Stuart, do you look up? Are you feeling all right?" Whereas I'm breathing heavily, out of breath, just by walking up one flight of stairs to get to my desk. So, I always went white as a ghost as I got to the top, so I was extremely unhealthy. But now I can do that no problem. Walk up those stairs, not a problem. Not too many stairs, but just in comparison. I'm also getting people starting to comment on my appearance, saying, "Oh, Stuart, you look like you've lost a hell of a lot of weight." I said, "Oh, you look a lot better for it. I can definitely tell the difference in your face and your clothes. Shirts are starting to get baggier." So that's a big difference. Actually, getting people commenting to me now. Household chores. Another example. Cleaning my bathroom as an example. Now it usually took me a good few hours to do that, really scrubbing, getting into the corners there. But the reason why is because I was so unhealthy, and obviously the bulk of me is just awkward, having to stretch over to those awkward reach places, and basically the sweat was always pouring off me, and my lower back always started to ache, and most of that 2 or 3 hours cleaning the bathroom was spent on me just sat on the floor having to have 15-20 minute breaks every 15-20 minutes. So it took ages for me to do stuff, such as household chores. So that's something else that I've seen an improvement, because I've just had to do some more household chores, and it went a lot quicker, and I didn't have to sit down and have a rest. I could do it all in one hit. I've already briefly mentioned this regards to my shirts, my t-shirts or work shirts. They are definitely feeling a lot looser now, and for the people who are sitting opposite me, it's also a lot safer environment because they no longer have to wear any safety glasses, just in case of any missiles, aka shirt buttons popping off and just shooting off and bouncing, ricocheting all over the room. So there's less danger for the people who I work with, because my shirts aren't as tight as they used to be, so that risk has now passed. Regards to trousers, well, because again my shirts and trousers are getting baggier, I'm now having to try and search through my wardrobe and find a belt that will fit me. Now unfortunately I'm still at a size where all of the belts that I have are still not big enough. You know, they don't have the circumference needed to be able to securely fit. So I've had to resort to basically punching some holes into the last little reaches of a belt. So I've only got like that much little bit of the belt left to fold back into the, you know what I'm talking about. But I've had to start wearing that belt because otherwise every 3 steps my trousers are around my ankle, and it's going to be an unpleasant sight to anyone, or shocking sight to anyone. So I've built a belt is something that I have to now start wearing when I even consider doing any amount of walking. And general health wise, I'm just feeling physically better in myself, and my blood pressure is down, and even with, I'm still on medication for blood pressure, but after my last doctor's checkup, it's right in the healthy blood pressure range zone, which even before with my medication, it was struggling to get into that healthy or green band range for blood pressure. So losing this weight has definitely helped reduce my blood pressure, and the doctor has says if I continue on the way that I'm doing, I will potentially need to reduce the amount of medication that I'm on, because he says that you may start feeling lightheaded because your blood pressure will be getting too low because you're losing too much weight. So I may, as what my goals were, to actually start coming off my medication. So hopefully in the future sometime that will be a thing to look forward to. I hope you enjoyed that little breakaway from my normal Sunday video. I had a request to talk about what I've noticed as I've lost weight, and those are just some of the things which are really obvious differences which I am seeing. So I hope you enjoyed that little segment, but now it's time to go back to the normal video segment, and let's see if I've managed to lose any more weight. I weigh 205 kilograms, which is 451.9 pounds, or 32 stone, 3.9 pounds in my money. This means, unfortunately, since last Saturday, I've actually gained 0.7 kilogram or 1.5 pounds. So I'm guessing that Cornish pasty and the crisps, or potato chips, whatever you want to call them, didn't help me out that well. But never mind, like I said, I'll put this gain behind me, and I'll work towards the following week and hopefully a loss. But if we want to compare my Slimming World weigh-in to the weigh-in that I've just announced, here are my Slimming World results. At Slimming World, I gained 2.5 pounds, which is 1.1 kilogram. So, not a good result at Slimming World either. Obviously, the consultant saying, Stuart, what have you done? And I had to think about what I'd done over the last week, and that's when I remembered about the crisps and the Cornish pasty. So there was quite a few bad things off plan, you know, if Slimming World sins that I maybe had a bit too much, and that may account for, okay, it has accounted for my weight gain, but I was hoping my record number of steps may have offsetted that, but it hasn't. So moving on. Based on this week's weight gain, it sees my body mass index go from 59.7 up to 59.9. And if we look at my second weight loss target, last week it was 29.7% complete, and after this week's gain it goes down to 27.6% complete. So in the 66 weeks that I've been doing this weight loss journey, I've lost a total of 89.3 pounds, or 40.5 kilograms, or 6 stone, 5.3 pounds. Next week, I'm actually off on holiday. I'm not going anywhere, but I'm just taking the Easter weekend. It's going to turn into a whole Easter week for me. I've got lots of jobs to be getting on with at home. Surprising. I'm going to try and fit in as much walking as possible, but I'm not going to lie, the walking is probably going to take a big hit this next week. I'm hoping it's not going to affect next week's weigh-in as well by having a reduced step count. I just got to be careful on what I eat, but I am going to just let you know this. Tonight, Sunday, obviously, I'm going to be having a pizza. So I'm not starting the week off great, if I'm being honest. So I'm hoping this takeaway pizza tonight, which I've not had for months, so I am actually looking forward to it. I'm hoping that doesn't carry with me right until next Saturday. But other than that, guys, that's the end of this video. As always, if you would like to continue hopefully seeing less of me, why don't you subscribe to my channel so you don't get to miss out on any future videos that I post. I wish you all a fantastic week, and I'll see you all again next Sunday.